Hello everyone, in this tutorial we're going to see another product example, and in this case we're going to see a product of a phone case. So we're going to add in this personalized button on our product wherein we'll be able to customize our text that is going to be shown on our phone case. So here we have the option to change the style, either vertical or horizontal, and the option to change the text as you want, for example ABC or your name. Change the font here, you can give the option to change the font to the customer so the customer can change the font however you want, and finally change the color as he pleases. As you can see, we give him the option to change one of these 4 colors. If you want to add in more colors, you can do so, and finally he can customize his phone case and then add it to cart. So this is what we're going to do in this tutorial, and without further ado, let's dive in. So the first thing we have to do is create a new product. As you can see here, add product. So I'm going to call this my custom case. You can add in description, images, pricing, and all these details. I'm going to add in just an image. So this is the image I'm going to use for my product. You can set in the price, for example, $20. Etc. Then quantity here, maybe I have 50 of it or whatever. You can change in these options as you want. So we're going to just go ahead and click on save here to go ahead and customize the options given to this product. So now we're going to have to go to the configure page wherein we will be able to configure our custom options. So click on configure with product personalizer here on this product. In here, you will be able to customize the different options. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the base image here using the background image. So I'm going to click on this plus button to add in a new image. So choose files. I'm going to choose the same image here, the case green, open it and upload the image. Wait for it to upload and then close this window. As you can see here, this is the image and this is our text. So the first thing I'm going to add is these options. Okay, so the style options, we have vertical and horizontal. So this is what I'm going to do, and this field type is called an options list. It's not a simple text, but it's an options list. Here you can choose a label for this field. As you can see here, it says style. We can choose style. Options list, these are the options that you're going to give for the style. So I'm going to add in a new one, and here I'm going to add in as a label style. So this is the list, we're creating a list. So the first option is going to be vertical. Add a new option, and second option is going to be called horizontal. Okay, and click create. So this is the options list automatically created. And for the control type, we're not going to choose a drop down list. We're going to go with a button here. So the customer can click on the button here instead of choosing from a drop down list. And a preset value, we're going to go with the vertical by default. So this is the default option that the customer will see when he goes on the personalization options. And if it's required, it is required. So we're going to go and add in another field. And this field is going to also be an options list. As you can see here, if you choose horizontal, there are other options that you can choose from. So it's vertical, it takes a lot of space. So you cannot choose whether it's up or down, but if it's horizontal, then you can choose if it's middle, bottom, etc. So these are other options that we're going to add here. So for the label, we're going to go with position, and the options list are going to be the options for the position. So position, first option is going to be top, then middle, then bottom, and finally just classic. Click on create here now, and as you can see, the options list now switch to position, and the control type is also going to be button, and a pre-selected value is going to be top. So by default, it's going to be shown on top. So next up, we're going to add another field, and this time it's going to be a simple text here. So this is the text that's going to be shown for a vertical value, and it's going to be shown vertically. So for the label, for example, we're going to go with vertical. Default value is text. This is the default value is going to be shown in the input value in the input field. And for the font, we're going to give the option to the customer to select any of the font that we're going to give him as options. So here we need to add in this group of fonts. And here I'm going to type in, for example, fonts or product fonts. And here I'm going to add in the fonts. So I'm going to upload these fonts. Okay, go to your fonts folder. So here I'm going to select some fonts. and simply click on open here and click on upload fonts to upload these fonts. Wait for the fonts to upload. So it says here fonts already uploaded, no problem. I'm going to go with first Asmara and add another font. So here I'm going to add the fonts option that we're going to give to the customer. So once you choose your fonts, just click on create to create this group of fonts. And now the customer will be able to choose one of the fonts you've provided, and the default font we're going to go with Asmara here. So this text is going to be shown vertically, so we're going to just rotate this control and make it a little bit bigger. As you can see here, instead of 30, we're going to change that to 70 and put this in the middle. Now for the color, we're going to do the same, and we're going to give the option to select one of the 4 colors. So we're going to call these colors. So this is the title of the group, and the first color is going to be teal, and here we're going to put in the hex code for this color and click on add button to add in other colors. So red. Now that you've created your colors options, just click on create here. And for the default color, we're going to go with green. So paste the hex code here to go with green by default. So this is the color selection label. So we're going to say just choose a color. So the customer will be prompted this label in order to choose a color. And that's it for the vertical option. We're going to save this and preview our options till now. So we're going to click here and then click on the personalize button to see what we have here. So this is vertical, and these are the options. So ABC, choose the font, one of the fonts we've selected, and choose the color he wants. The position here is only relevant to horizontal. We're going to hide it for vertical later, and then we're going to define what each of these options does in changes. So these are just going to change the text. And this is what we're going to do now. I'm going to add in other fields, so text here. So the first field is top. So I'm just going to hide in this vertical here to show just the top. So as you can see, all the other options are already selected. So just rename the labels and choose how you want this field to show up. So this is the top. We're going to add the same thing for middle and bottom and classic. So middle, I'm going to hide the top here. Just show just the middle, to focus on the middle. So the middle is going to be shown here. You can resize this box if you want to show a little bit of bigger text. So top here is going to show this way. So you can reposition this text in the middle and add in the same thing for the bottom. So bottom here, and bottom is going to be shown in the bottom middle. We're going to hide the middle to show just the bottom, so you can concentrate on the bottom text. And font selection and colors are the same. And now we're going to hide this, and we're going to add the classic option. The classic option gives a bigger text area, so it's not a simple field, it's a text area. It gives the customer the option to select a lot of text to show on his case, not just a word or two. So as you can see here, if we go with classic, it shows a text area. So this is what we're going to do. So as you can see here, it's a text area. And for the label, we're going to select classic. And for the default value, you can go with something like type in your text maybe. Number of lines that you can go with. Line height 0.9, great. The full font is Asmara, etc. The fonts, etc. The colors are the same. Okay, we're going to just select here 40 maybe, and we're going to make this a little bit bigger, and we're going to add here some line breaks to show the text better, to give a better idea to the customer how his text is going to look like. So the text by default is aligned horizontally and vertically inside this box, so it shows up neatly inside the case. So we're going to save this and see how it looks right now. So my custom case, click on personalize it. And as you can see here, now he can choose vertical, horizontal, etc. But as you can see here, everything is shown at the same time. So we need to set up some conditions to show some stuff only when an option is selected. And this is what we're going to do now. We have to add in conditions. So here I'm going to add in conditions. So when style is set to vertical, then show vertical. When style is set to horizontal, instead show position. Okay, so show position. Now, customer has to choose position when the size set to horizontal. Now, the position, if the position is set to top, then I should show top. If it's set to middle, then I should show middle. If the position is set to bottom, then I should show bottom. And finally, if position is set to classic, then I should show classic. That's it. So here we have our conditions. So for the style and position, and what to do when each of these conditions is met. So we're going to click save here, and we're going to preview our product again. So personalize it right now. So here we have vertical and horizontal. So we choose horizontal. As you can see, we can now choose middle, bottom, or classic. And classic, as you can see here, we can type in our long text, maybe my full name, etc. And then you can choose the font here to the font you want and choose a color. So you can see here we forgot to change in the label of the colors. We can do that very easily in the labels right here. So go to, for example, to choose the color, and here you have to pay attention to the labels if you want to show things correctly. So top here, just remove that added number, as you can see here, number 6 and 7 here. Okay, they should have the same label. And if you want to personalize further your options list, if you want to show, for example, the personalization button and options to be shown directly on the product page, all you have to do is change this to direct field and click save. Now if we preview our product, as you can see here, the options are shown directly on the product page. So here the customer can choose his name, choose the font he wants for his name, and change the color, or he can set horizontal and then change the actual position of the text and do the same for the other options. And once the customer is happy about how his custom font shows up, he can add to cart to order his case. So this concludes our tutorial. I hope this has been informative for you, and I thank you so much for viewing.